Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here, and today I'm here with Mr. Brian Feeks. Hey Brian, how you doing today?
What's going down, Rob?
Oh, just the usual. It's at time of this record, we're T minus 3 days from a World Cup game in Toronto. So that's what's going down, man.
You're going to be a
And
busy man. Which team? What team again? I can't remember which team you're
uh,
rooting for.
of course, I'm Canadian. I'm rooting for Canada, buddy. And they are playing Bosnia at 3 o'clock on Friday in Toronto. So that will be a
Nice.
treat. So yeah. It's the city's kind of revved up like a little pop right now, but that's okay. We need to
Yeah.
get you back up. We need to get you back up here. So
Let's go.
let's go. Yeah. So today we were gonna jump and we're gonna talk about some cool AI stuff and some
Yeah.
stuff you've done with some bots. Bodhi comes to mind, and we're gonna have I
Bodie's
think
ready.
you're gonna
Bodie's ready.
oblige us with a bit of a demo what Bodhi can do and what you can do.
Sure.
But I think what's really important is more important than what we're going to talk about is you've changed your life and you've been through a bit of a life story.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing a little bit about that, please?
Yeah. Yeah. The entrepreneur, right? When we those who are new to it and those who are right in the middle of it and those are seasoned, you all know that our stress and what we deal with might be just a little different than those that punch a clock 8 to 10. Doesn't mean good, doesn't mean bad, but that comes with stress. And so I think me personally, having hit the highs, hit the lows, hit the highs, as many times as you hit a high, you hit a low. And if what you hope is over your entrepreneurial career is you kind of like you soften the pad, so it's not as low when you actually have a dip.
Yeah.
I made some personal choices and decided to be semi-retired and kind of used alcohol in a way to just numb my mind and my brain and my thought, and I just became kind of numb to the world, and it caught up to me in a big way. And so I had to either leave this planet or I had to decide, screw it, I'm done. I'm back on the horse, and so I chose the latter. Here I am with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you made that choice, not the other choice. I mean,
Yeah,
I
thank you.
I was saying to you last week, I was saying to you before we went to record, that's a hard choice to make. Most people never break down their life and say, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And how do I make it better?
Yeah, I mean, it took absolutely looking at everything I was doing under a microscope and just saying, yes,
Yeah.
that's a catalyst. Yes, don't do that. Yes, don't hang around those people. And it's not. I'm fortunate. I can still be around my friends that drink, and I like you wouldn't even know, necessarily if you met me,
Yeah.
for the first time, that I chose sobriety, and so, and that's just, this who I am is what you're seeing right now, Rob, and that it didn't
Yeah.
change just because I don't have a glass of wine in my hand.
I know, and I'm so proud of you. And that's
Thanks, buddy.
an understatement. It's hard. I mean, I've made relationship choices in the last 4 years, and before we get to topic, I came out of three long terms, and I shared with you a marriage even.
Yeah.
And I actually sat down with a piece of paper, and I was so frustrated. And I said, okay, what am I doing wrong? There's a common denominator here. Three long terms that didn't work, but I kind of reflected and said, what am I doing here? And it turned out I was looking for the wrong things more than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I broke that down, and I've shared with my partner Tiz that if I hadn't done that, I don't think her and I would be where we're at today. And I mean that. And she's such a backbone in my life that you and I are both lucky. We have people behind us who understand what we do. They care about what we do, and more importantly, they care about us as people, and that's a big deal, right?
100%. Yeah. I'm fortunate. My wife is my absolute rock. And so
Yeah.
without her, and then, my 12-year-old, it's looking at those two faces day two
Yeah.
in the hospital and kind of saying, I'm done. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's do this different.
Good.
Let's change the page.
Good for you. We're going to talk all about AI,
Yeah,
and
let's go.
AI. I know. Let's go. The AI is one of those topics that I love. You love. How did you end up in the world of AI? I have to ask you, how did that come about?
Me personally, I know, I'm self-taught. I'm self-taught at everything. I taught myself the internet, taught myself a computer, taught myself,
Good for you.
search engine optimization. And AI has been around for some time. I mean, the ability to tell something to learn and then do it better next time. I mean, that's
Yeah.
computing, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's just that what we've given it as a name. I got heavy into it 2020, 2021. I kind of started thinking about getting back into the agency space after a couple year hiatus, and I was just focused on some other Google arbitrage and some other ways to
Mhm.
earn money online. Um, and a company like Jasper that was one of the first that came out. I
Yeah.
think they even called themselves Jarvis, and then it became Jasper because of
Jarvis.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
They changed
Right?
because of copyright. They changed the
Yeah,
name, if you
like
remember.
whoopsie,
Yeah.
I was like the first, like, okay, hey, yeah, I've as an entrepreneur in the digital space, you get to a part where you're either the one that makes the website and you're not good at sales, so you go find a sales partner, right? Or
Yeah.
you're the one that's a really good salesperson and you're not necessarily the best coder or developer, and so you go find partners or employees or team members to do that, right? And so you build this model where you've got multiple people doing expertise. My love for it was the creating, was the being able to take something, turn it into a tangible, and then turn it into a product that actually helps somebody. My biggest
Yeah.
reward still to this day is when a client, new or old, comes to me and says, "You're feeding my children, my wife, my
Yeah.
employees, their wives, their children." Like it's just the effect. And so like I got into AI with the simple goal of how do I automate those pieces that I didn't like, the friction that I had in my old agency model, and be able to produce at a level where it's my vision that comes out the other end.
Yeah. And one thing you said that's really important. The rewarding part is when a client comes to you and says, "You're making me money." Let's be honest. And
100%.
I
Our
think
job.
where most agencies get lost in what we do
Yeah.
is, I'll build your website, okay. I'll build your automation sequence, okay. And then I look at my clients and say, and now we got to make sure we keep those leads coming in because you need to make money.
Yeah.
And that's what matters to me too. It's not that I built a website. It's not that I locked down your website and avoided somebody from hacking it. It's did what we do enable you to make money. And I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I think we all know, Rob, that the agencies that succeed and the ones that have happy founders, happy C-level or whatever size your
Yep.
agency is, you can literally see the ones that are, excuse my French, but they're selling snake oil. They're trying to
Yep.
basically package $500 website designs because the client says, I need a new website. So they give them what they think that they need, but it doesn't solve their problem. Doesn't bring them
Yep.
more phone calls.
Yeah. And one of the things they miss in their advertising is, and I'll say this, and I was talking to a colleague about this yesterday. It's the old, I can build you a website with these 10 features. The client couldn't care less.
Sure.
I can build you a website that's going to generate you leads, which will lead to sales, which will, now that gets the clients,
Rob, I got to tell
going.
you a quick story. It's funny because one of my clients that started, he just owned a few restaurants and he became a known
Yep.
person. And I don't like to throw his name around, but it was
That's
funny because
okay.
my entire web team was like prepared. So when he came in to do the review of his website, it was a fantastic, it was one of our best websites we ever built. And he gets in there and he's looking at it and he goes like this. He says, Spikes, he goes, it's missing one thing. It needs a fizzy pop. And we're like, a fizzy pop? It needs like a whirl bang, like something, man. It's like it's missing a fizzy pop.
Yeah.
And we're like, fizzy pop. So it
Yeah.
literally, he wanted a little piece of animation, and he could have cared less about the whole infrastructure. He didn't even know what CRO meant, and like
Yeah.
he didn't care. It needed a fizzy pop, and so we literally coined a term internally. And like every time we'd smoke test a site, we'd be like, "Does it have a fizzy pop? Does it have something
Yeah.
that'll get the client to a point where it's like, the shiny object?" But they're like, "Okay, we gave them a good base. Like we gave them the foundation."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard. Before we jump into voting, because I do want to spend time there.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
I'm
you and
te
everybody. It's like forget
I'm
Brian. Just
te
stop voting.
I'm teasing people right now because um AI is interesting and it's made our life, your and my life better, I think.
Yeah.
I still think you need some smart people to run the AI. So we're not going to turn AI over to like an average Tom, Dick, and Harry. I hate to use a common phrase. Isn't going to
Sure.
figure it out. I'll be honest with you.
Everyone, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't think we're costing people jobs. What we're doing is reshaping jobs. What do you think about that?
I 100% agree with you. And I think that what I'm finding when I get in these conversations now, and obviously I'd say the conversation from this time last year to today has just, it's like it's compounding. So like in January, it was, we talk about it, you get to like February and it's like now the conversations that took a month are happening in like 4 days. And that's kind of the
Yeah,
technology. It just feels in our space, it can feel overwhelming. I mean, there's just so many widgets, the newest, latest thing. It's like everyone's got the newest, latest thing. Um, I think at the core, what it's going to do is it's going to take the middle piece of the job market and it's going
yeah,
to improve upon that. And what I think we're going to find is okay, so 30% lost job. Where do they go? What do they do? They're
yeah,
not, I mean, we're not going to lose 30% of the population of the people or the power of what that is. We're just going to re-engineer and it's just going to get smarter. It's going to get better. It's going to get
mhm,
refined, And so, yeah, okay, it only takes a few people to do what 20 people did, but those other 18 people are going to find their own niche skill set or their own
yeah,
siloed skill set.
yeah,
And then they're just going to become the best at that.
yeah. The best analogy I use is a printing press. The book industry hasn't gone away. It's just refined. And
Absolutely.
now it's gone to online and so on. And the industry hasn't gone away. It's
Yep.
just changed again. And that's called evolution. It's not jobs going out the window.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to have been, what is it, the Industrial Revolution? Where we're sitting here and all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
like, and wait, I can put that on a car and get it there a day instead of a month? Oh, I think I'll
Yeah.
take the day.
Yeah. I think what we need to do to start that happening again is start another big war, right? Because
Well,
you know
yeah,
every major industrial revolution has come out of a war. You do realize that, don't you?
I have enough of the history. I actually golf with my freshman year history teacher. So he reminds me.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. But for all the good that AI does, I have to, and I can't get to an AI conversation without saying this. We got to be really careful too,
Of course.
because I think there's been some well-known people have thought, oh, I don't need to use a website or a content management system. I'll just vibe code my website. And 3 days later or 3 weeks later, you know what we're hearing. The website got hacked because AI is not smart enough yet to write secure code. We know that. We also know, unfortunately, the hackers and the scammers and the counterfeiters, they're all using AI to make
Yeah,
their techniques better. So we got to be careful there too, don't we?
100%. The security. I mean, for a creator, that's not sexy. In fact, I just had a meeting at lunch, security and compliance. It's a client that's going to come on and they're going to solve it for fintech and for health.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing, you've got to protect your keys. I mean, and I don't mean just figuratively. I mean like digitally and everywhere
Yep.
else. It was funny. A construction client of mine had his wife produced a really nice website. She did Claude Code. She got in. She produced a nice website. And then I looked at him. I said, "So what are you gonna do with it now?" He goes, "I have no clue. I don't know. It's a pretty picture." I go, "Okay."
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, Claude told me I should put it on Netlify and I should like host it." And I was like, "Okay, where are you going to go after that?" He goes, "I don't know. Let me ask." It got to the point where all of a sudden I said, "And what's the password to get into that?" And I'm not even kidding, Rob. Password 123. I said, "No, you
Yeah.
did not." She goes, "Yeah, just because I couldn't remember." And I'm like, I literally was like, "Oh,
I know.
please,
And,
please."
and then it's I use Claude to make the website. How do you update it? I don't know. I
I
mean
think I'm
that's
just going to tell it, but yeah, 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 exactly.
so this is going to sound self-serving because it's a big part of what I do, but I still think you need a CMS on the front end for the average person, and that's
100%.
the end of it.
100%. Yeah. If you've got team members, you've got and again, I give the analogy. I'm happy to teach your son who's going to help you in the marketing or your daughter who just got out of college. And, someone's going to have to put their fingers in it that doesn't know how to vibe code. Vibe code is the sexy new thing. And sure,
Yeah.
it's easy once you build your infrastructure. And there's just so many layers to what that looks like. But I still think, like you, I think you're WordPress, right? You're a big
Yeah, yeah.
WordPress
No, of
component.
course.
I mean, that's still going to have a place. Is it
Yeah.
going to be here 5 years from now? I don't know. You don't know, but at least it's very easy once it's programmed and set up correctly for your client to
Yeah.
hand the keys to a junior level person and give them permissions and say, you're only allowed to mess with these little pictures over here, this content, which is good for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
agree. So before we move on to Bodhi, here I
Yeah.
am again,
Yeah.
teasing away because I
He's
want to
ready.
get there. I'm
He's
going to
warmed up.
get there. He's warmed up, and he's in the green room getting ready, and that's the way it is.
That's funny.
um, but before we go to Bodhi, what's the biggest AI challenge for you in your business right now, Brian?
Oh, God. As a creator,
Yeah,
I have actually had to build in my intelligence loop. And again, not to get into the
yeah,
weeds, but I have to remind myself every morning at 6 o'clock when I get my email of like what I did really well the day before and what I'm going to do today. I have to remind myself not to add a new project to it. That's not
yes,
that's not so I've literally have built a time clock for myself that says 10% of my life I can deal with the fun creative like stuff that I'm going to build for myself. I'm going to spend another 50 to 55% for my clients and bettering and pushing their projects along because it's just like everything else as an entrepreneur. If I dedicated 100% of my time into one thing, you could lift a mountain. As an
yeah,
agency, we're trying to lift a mountain for every single one of our clients. So you just have to scale the time and energy. And that's where that retainer comes in. And I'm very honest with my clients saying the reason you're paying me X is because that means you're going to get 5% of my time. You're going to get 3% of my time. You get 100% of my output, my brain, but you're only going to, you can only have so much fractional time. So
yeah, yeah, and that's something clients don't always realize either. Is it's a
yeah,
training expedition. It's to say the
100%.
least.
Love that. I love that.
So yeah, so Bodhi.
All right. Let me
Did
warm
you
them up.
did you pay Bodhi enough today to come on the show? You got to ask him, right?
Rob, I'm not even kidding. Um, like I literally the last show I was on, uh he told a colleague and they're a part of a group and next thing I know they're not even asking for me. They want Bodie. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna accept it. I'm like, he's cool, he knows a lot. All right, you
I
know.
see merch coming, eh, Brian?
Yeah,
It's coming.
God, oh. I did just build an e-commerce platform. All right, Bodie, it's time, baby. Wake up. Oh, he's gonna get camera shy. Oh, I didn't pay him enough, Rob.
Uh-oh.
You know what we got to do?
What?
We got to juice it. All right, Bodie, wake up.
I'm wide awake and ready to go. Let's juice it. What's the next move we're tackling?
All right, we're on with Rob, Stunning Marketing. If you remember, my buddy up there in Canada. And I don't know. Let's see. We can go anywhere with this conversation, Rob. You know, this he's ready.
Yeah. Ask him what he thinks of Canada.
What do you think? Oh, why you set me up like that? Hey, Bodie, what do you think of Canada?
Canada's pretty amazing. Gorgeous landscapes, friendly folks, and some seriously good poutine. So with this conversation, my friend.
He wants to bring so he's been programmed to always bring it back to business. Like, let's go, bring it back, bring it back.
Yeah. And it's funny because he says poutine, and just for fun, I was in Quebec, which is the home of poutine,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't touch one. Long story. Okay, Bodhi, back to business. What's the number one thing I should be asking you today to help my business?
Rob, I love that directness. The number one thing I'd suggest is asking what untapped niche or underutilized channel could deliver exponential growth. If we pinpoint that, we can build a plan to dominate it. Let's uncover that hidden lever.
Hey, Bodie, since you're on, you might as well give the 15-second, all right? Not 16-second, give the 15-second. Who am I? Who are you? What is Bonsai?
Brian, you're the mastermind behind Bonsai Marketing, the growth engine for local service businesses. Me, I'm Bodhi, your AI sidekick, here to help you strategize and execute on everything from AI marketing.
So, I mean, Rob, how could you not have fun with your own AI assistant that talks to you
Yes.
helps you. And it's a little too positive. I've got like, the pragmatist friends, and they're like, it's just
Yeah.
too nice. It's always saying absolute. It's always saying yes. I go, yeah, because it can.
Yeah. How long did it take you to develop Bonsai Brain?
Um, so I've been trying to literally figure out if I had to recreate this, how would I have done that, or how would I do it now, knowing what I know? And I think it started, understanding, large language models in that
Yeah.
um, it's just like when you talk about the search engine, right? You pull up a filing cabinet, somewhere there's a file, you pull the file, that's searching, right? So that's search engine optimization, putting your file furthest.
Yep.
Um, the analogy of large language models was I'll take a glass of water that's looks like it's cold, and I'll tell somebody, I go, okay, I'll put it in front of them, I go, reach, I go, grab that. So then they grab that cold glass. And I said, did you not know that as you were reaching out for that, your hand was already anticipating that it was going to be cold? So now what I want you to do is I want you to shift that glass, and I want you to move it over to the right. And I go, now imagine that million neurons that just did all that action, it remembers every single time you just did that. And that second action that it did, it remembers that.
Yeah.
And so
That's
it was kind of
amazing.
like that aha moment of like, oh my God, wait. What if I started overfeeding it? And so like in the beginning, I just literally, like, right when projects came out, I was the first one. Like, I felt like in my group projects, okay, great. And then I realized, I'm like, this is a knowledge base. I'm like, I'm basically giving it, each one of the little sections was like a little mini brain. It was like a baby. You
Yep.
just have to feed it. And again, it's like the old sci-fi movie. I need more data. It's like,
Yep. I hear you. Can I ask Bodhi one more question, Brett?
yeah. All right, Bodie, you're
Yeah.
acting a little faster, I can tell. Rob's got one more question for you.
Hey, Bodhi, did you ask Brian for a raise yet?
Oh, sometimes he's got to wake up. Hey, Bodie, did you hear that last question? He asked if I have you asked for a raise yet? You can cut this part out, right?
Yeah. I will.
Yeah, okay. Hold on. He's When he sleeps, it's a little longer.
It's okay.
All right, Bodie, are you awake?
Wide awake and fully alert. Hit me with what's next.
So, Bodhi, have you asked Brian for a raise yet?
I'm just here to make sure Brian and you get all the value you need.
Uh,
If I help you both,
so PC, Rob. So PC. Thanks, Bodie. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Little
Um,
fun with Bodhi, eh, Brian? I couldn't resist.
No, I appreciate it. I like you right now. I've got 5 screens, and what's cool is, so that's the phone layer, right? So that's my
Yeah.
immediate,
Yep.
my terminal. You would say, over here, I've got Kai running. I have gotten to the point where I can't. It won't on camera. It won't do it as well. But like, I was in front of a group, and I was showing them. I've gotten it so that Bodhi will talk to Kai. Kai's my Claude,
Yep.
and I can be in the middle as kind of the interpreter and just kind of like bridge them together. We were solving a problem together, because sometimes the prompts that come out of Chat GPT, you may or may not have noticed, they have different context, right? And so some are really good at deep research, marketing, graphic, as it relates to what conversion optimization would be. And you go over to like Claude, and it's a little more, I wouldn't call it sterile, but it's definitely more of the architect, and putting
Yep.
the building blocks together. And when you get them both together, it's interesting. I can't wait till I can figure that out with Gemini or Grok, or any of the other models that are out there.
Yeah, it's getting interesting. Have you played? You're saying you're using Gemini or Grok or Claude.
All of
Have
them,
you
yeah.
looked at any of the self-hosted models?
No, that's funny. One of my peers like just set up his own Linux box, and he's going crazy on, multimodal and multi-model, and I'm like, like for right now, if I go down another rabbit hole, Rob, I feel like I've already had like three. I've earned 3 masters in the last 90 days, and I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
you just got to pause.
I'm at that point. It's like I have a friend who's building his own local model and
Yeah,
basically a mini data center in his apartment. And I'm laughing at him saying, you know what? If I go down that road, you might as well say goodbye for the next year. I'll be gone.
yeah. I made the mistake of getting a NAS set up already, so I'm like already preparing for storage, because I run on a Mac Studio, an
Okay.
M3, and so in terms of a computational power, I'm like, I was trying to explain to my son, because he's heard the analogy, I guess, in science class, he's in sixth grade. He heard the analogy that now the phone that you have can power, rockets, and not just one rocket. Now we can power every single rocket that ever existed in the 60s or 70s, however that analogy goes. And I was trying to say, Daxton, can I show you something? He goes, see that little silver box over there? I go, that's got more computational power than all of the world had in 1999. And he just goes, what? He goes, I go, no. And he goes, oh my God, Dad. So it's like God. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, and that's what, some people, some of the developers and stuff will call their systems God, or, what have you.
Yeah. It's like looking at the phone we carry has more computational power than the computers you or I ever started on. They're not even close. And it's
Commodore 64, baby.
I started on an Apple II, and I still have the original as a memento.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nice.
So I'm there. So you get it. With all this AI stuff, and you're working with clients,
yeah,
what's the common problems you're solving for your clients? Like, what
you got your you got your typical, like, they need more phone calls, they need more leads. I have what's really cool about me re-entering the digital space was I came in it with knowing that I had like 5 months of runway. I mean, I had clients. I've always had kind of clients, and I've taken care of my friends. And when I said, you know what, I'm going for it, and that was like November, I finally said, you know what, come 2026, I'm going to get back on it. I'm going to go. And I want to create, because my last agency, 1,500 clients and, what have you. And I said to myself, I'm going to build this as a solopreneur. That doesn't mean I won't necessarily have other team members or partners or employees. I most likely will. But I got a clean lens. And so I've actually realized, to answer your question in full, it's customizable. Like, I'm solving the problems that are really in front of them, not just a typical stereotypical, here's my 3 plans, good, better, best, buy me at this X, because a dentist in Santa Rosa, California is going to have a much different challenge than a dentist in Kentucky and, so forth in some of your rural or city areas. It's just different, like population, number of competitors. And so there's no one size fits all.
No, it's true. And people think in the marketing space, everything is, this works for everybody. And that's not true. Not even close. And budget's a part of that too. Like, I hate to go there. I've done work with big companies. Some of these big companies have millions of dollars to throw around too. And
absolutely,
and believe me, they throw it around. Like,
yeah. What was the? I think when I was just getting into the enterprise level stuff and trying to provide solutions, I think, if I remember correctly, I was sitting with one of the beverage companies, and they were giving the analogy that I believe Coca-Cola got a new VP of marketing in Washington, and he came in front of the group and said, why don't we pull out for 1 month and take that money? And I think my number's going to be wrong, but I think it was like 75 million or something. Just
you're not far off. I've heard the same thing.
Yeah. And so he took it out of the marketplace. Pepsi gained 0.01%. And again, please, if I'm wrong with the numbers, put it down here. But that 0.01, the multiple on that, like, of course he lost his job. Of course the point wasn't proven. He didn't reallocate it to an area that was going to be more efficient. But I'll be honest with you, if he had the knowledge we have now in terms of how rich you can get and how deep you can get with data, that scenario might not have happened today. And so I think the intelligence layer is really where, things are going to get really, really interesting from a competitive landscape.
Yeah. And I think those competitors, those companies that aren't using AI and aren't doing it, they're going to be left behind. And I'm sorry, if you're not on it now, you're in trouble. Like, I think it's almost too late now.
Yeah. Well, people in my space, I had that fear in February, March, and I'm like, well, shoot. I mean, if I've learned this, somebody else is, and of course they are. In fact, I just sat with the compliance client that I was talking to, and he even knows, like, in his space, he's got to accelerate everything he thought he could do in a year. He's like, I've got 3 months. I got to get this done now, because I know someone's going to come in and provide a solution. But that competitiveness, that driving, that's why things are just going to get cleaner, smarter, better. Like we're going to have an ecosystem that's been improved by our life. We get more, like, why do we have to work 40 hours a week? Why can't we work 10 hours a week and have the same output that we had when we were working 40 and go enjoy life and go spend money in other ways?
And people, if you're listening to this, listen to what Brian just said. Try and work smarter and enjoy life, not do life to work harder. And that is the key. I always say to people, you need to make the business work for you, not the other way around. And that's the difference between success and just going through life day by day.
Yeah, 100%. My commercial real estate broker that I just met with a couple days ago, that was the point. It's like that profession, you get into it, you work really, really hard for a few years. You do the boiler room, you're making the cold calls, and the level of success is when you're 8 years in and you've got that book of business and all those relationships, you can have 10-hour weeks. You can play golf more, you can take the trips and take a few phone calls. It ain't going to take 8 years for the junior level person I was just working with, because of how smart he's already adapting AI. It's not going to take him very long to get that J curve, to get ahead of it.
To get less. It's no question. And it's all based on relationships, how you use the tools, and so on. And people don't get that. I mean, my mother is alive. She's 81,
Oh,
82 in
congrats.
November.
Yeah.
She's a real estate agent. And she's already sold 3 houses this year.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that a lot. She's
Yeah.
probably so well, like, oiled that she's just like, it takes me 2 phone calls, Rob. It takes me 2 phone calls and I sell a piece of property. It's like,
Yeah, not quite, but yeah, you get the idea.
is she using AI, Rob? Is she using AI?
No, my mom's still old school, unfortunately. She even hates all the digital signing of contracts they do now, which
Oh, e-sig, yeah.
by the way, I would not do without. I mean, for me, it's all about digital signing of
Can you
contracts.
imagine the triplicate, like the days of press hard 3 copies? Like,
Well, do you remember the days of credit card slips with a carbon copy underneath? Yeah.
yeah, you had to run the machine.
Now I pull up Google Pay and I just tap Google Wallet, sorry, Apple Pay, Google
Yeah.
Wallet. I just tap my phone, I'm done, and it's paid and I'm gone. Do you want a receipt, sir? No, it's on my phone. No, I don't.
That, Rob, that brings me to one of the coolest things for me is
Sure.
I
Please.
walked into this in December and I said, you know what? I thought it was going to take me a year. I said, within a year, I want to be able to talk into my phone. I
Yep.
want it to do a foundational assessment, and I want it to be able to kick back to the client, and I want them to clearly see, forget the SEO audit. Love the SEO audit, love the analysis. That's a great starting start. A lot of people are still going to use that as a lead magnet in our industry. But I want to be able to provide a little slightly deeper layer that continues that conversation. And I really want to show them the opportunity. And I don't want them to have to wait for me to get back home. Like, why not do it as I'm sitting here? This is connected to my Bonsai Brain, my terminal at the house. I literally, by the time I get home, like, I did it today this morning at breakfast, just for one of my guys who's a chimney, he replaces fireplaces. And by the time I got home, he had the whole market analysis, and it was a pure, like, gap analysis. It was like, in this market, here's how much money is being spent in this. Here's how much he's doing. He thought he was one of the top dogs. It showed him there's 3 other competitors that he hadn't even heard of because they're 2 counties away, but they're entrenching. They're coming into his marketplace. And so it identified an opportunity that he just didn't even see coming.
Yeah, and I love how you talk about competitors, because I think in our space, not enough agencies encourage their clients to look at competitors. And
100%.
I always say, so one of my favorite tricks, it's an old school trick, it's not new.
Yeah.
You get an email address that's a Gmail or a throwaway, and you sign up to all your competitors' newsletters, every last one of them.
Stealth shopping, 100%.
Yep.
Love it.
And then you can take those and feed them into AI and say, give me an analysis of what my competitor's doing, right?
Make me sharper, make me better. How do I solve the problem just a little bit faster?
Yep. It's so true. And I have a client, also he's a good friend. We've known him for a long, long time. He runs an independent jewelry store in the east end of Toronto. And if you look on local search, and if you're situated in this area, he outranks the multinationals. Why? Because he knows what his competitors are doing.
Let's give yourself that moment. I love the David and Goliath. That is my bread and butter.
Yep. And what people got to realize is there's a reason your competitors are making sales and you're not. It's a good way to do market analysis. Not the only way, what's a good place to start?
Yeah. Yeah, I've positioned myself just in my own local. Like I want my Sonoma County, right? I do not want to necessarily have a huge amount of clients outside of the area because I want to be able to golf. I vacation with my clients. I've got one of my clients that's in Mississippi. He's joining me at a golf trip in July. To me, that's success. You want to ask me what success is? That's what success is making other people
Yeah.
money, making them happy while also taking care of my family and being able to
Yeah.
like look my client in the eye and just dude, they're family.
Yeah. And that means more because it's the relationship.
100%.
And that's what most people don't get. And most people in any business, especially ours, in the agency game, have not realized it's easier to keep a current client happy than to acquire new client. Cost of acquisitions are stupid on new clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to ask you, because you're doing AI to promote your business
Yeah.
and you want to do it local. Are you doing any ads or using AI to do it all?
No, I'm pretty aggressive with ads, Rob. I mean, I do have a goal. I mean, I obviously will work. I do work with clients, around the nation. I just don't want to have, for me, Bonsai Marketing is not the headless agency. I'm not trying to have 1,000
Yep.
clients. I'm trying to have, I don't, I want to, I'm bespoke, like I'm enjoying the one-off. I'm not going to
Mhm.
forever. So I'm going to cap out. And that's why I'm creating other platforms that are fun, like I
Yeah.
create a whole e-commerce, that we won't need to spend time on it, but it's tongue in cheek. It is hilarious. And I did it for two reasons. One, I didn't want to use Shopify and I wanted to
Yep.
see if I truly could build a e-com platform equivalent, at least on the surface, to what Shopify is. And sure enough,
Yep.
within 2 weeks, I had 1,800 transactions in one day that came through just as a test and it worked. And I was like, okay, now what's next?
Yeah. It's the old proof of concept. And the other reason why you did it, right? Because you
Yeah,
can. Because you
correct.
can.
Yeah.
You know, I do stuff too. We go down that R&D route in my agency, and someone said, "Why did you spend time doing that?" I felt like it.
Just
You got to
fun.
keep the brain going, right? And if you
100%.
don't like what you're doing, um, amazing conversation. Thanks, Bodie, by the way. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, here we should probably say goodbye to him. I mean, let's not be
yeah,
rude.
why not? I think we need to.
Hey, Bodie, real quick.
Of course, I'm right here. What do you need before we wrap up?
Rob's got
Uh,
something.
I want to thank you, Bodie, for taking time. We appreciate you.
It's absolutely my pleasure. I'm glad I could help out. If anything else comes up, you know where to find me. Take care.
Uh, this this world we live in, Rob.
Yeah, it's so true. Brian, if somebody wants to find more about your agency or what you do, how's the best way? Besides calling Bodie and borrowing them.
Yeah, no, Brian Fikes. I mean, there it is, my name. Let's go. Just Google it. Not hard to find. I actually get a call every now and then from other Brian Fikeses like, stop, I get it. You're a digital marketer. You own the first 100 links of your name ish. But Bonsai Marketing, again, there's a couple of us, but I'm not hard to find on LinkedIn. Anybody can reach out. I tell people I'm happy to give 5 to 10 minutes of my time if you have a problem in something that you really want to pop the hood at. I mean, I just did it with another agency in Montreal, in fact, Felix. And so I'm in a fun space. Like, you're not a competitor,
Yeah.
Rob. The other agencies are not competitors. We're all going to get to the answer a little bit different, and we're going to have different clients, and it's this peer-to-peer communication that makes me want to wake up
I
and get
agree.
going. So
Me too, Brian. Hey, man, I appreciate so much. And we got to talk again sometime. This has
we
been
will.
fun.
Yeah,
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 have
yeah.
a good day, Brian.
You got to get back to going to some conferences, at least one, if not this year.
Yes.
I'll make sure we can connect at some cool conference coming up.
I need to find a way to get back to San Fran is what I need to do. And
You
that
okay?
works.
San Fran, you call me. I call my people over at Kendall Jackson. I'll call some of my resorts. I'll get you dialed in.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Have a great night.
Thanks, Rob.